It sounds like fortune cookie, Dr. Joe.
That's not fortune cookie, Mr. Scott.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Scott round.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night, and I am Scott, and that perfect person that I love over there.
Oh boy. I am Joe, and I am not a perfect person. But thank you so much. You're a sweetheart.
I love you.
I love you too.
Look, we're doing something tonight, right? We're going to go see a movie. This is before and after reviews, and that means we go see brand new movies in the theater, and we give our before and after thoughts. And this is the before. And we're talking today about Indiana Jones.
And what's the title of this one? Indiana Jones
And the Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny.
What a title.
I had Compass in my head.
It could have been. It could have been that, and we would have been fine with it, I guess. Yeah, this is number 5. Do we act like number 4 happened? Because, look, number 4 might not be that good, but it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. It's okay.
I mean, I remember walking out of that and just being like, okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
You know, like I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. It was just there.
It's silly. It's got a lot of dumb stuff. I think I had already made a joke about it online about how in the preview it pissed me off because in the trailer for this movie, he says, you know, I've seen some things that I can't explain. And I'm like, you've seen some things? Dude. I think I actually put Rudy Ray Moore saying, bitch, are you for real? Because, dude, he has been shot. He's been hung off things. He met Hitler.
Yeah.
He saw a guy get his heart ripped out and he stayed alive. Mm-hmm. He cut a bridge and survived.
Yeah.
What? Keep going here.
I mean,
he had a minecart ride at like Disney World. He got possessed by voodoo.
He found the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail melted people around him.
I mean, Jesus. You don't get any
Oh,
better
not
than
the
that.
Holy Grail. That was the Ark of the Covenant.
I mean, the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant melted a bunch of people around him.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy.
the Holy Grail saved him and his father from deathly wounds.
Yeah.
And he also saw a Knight of the Round Table, or the Knight of the Templar, still alive, waiting for someone to find the cup, the Holy Grail.
Oh, he also survived a plane crash. He flew out of
Out
the sky
on a raft.
on a raft.
Yes.
With 2 other human beings and somehow lived to tell the tale of that. Yeah, he's done some stuff. He's done some stuff.
He's done some stuff. His father took down a fighter jet plane by scaring seagulls on the beach.
I mean, you can go on and on for days.
He saw an alien spaceship take off.
Yeah.
And he also survived a atom bomb explosion in a refrigerator.
Yes. That's right.
He's seen some things he can't explain. He doesn't believe in magic. I want to say, fuck you, Dr. Jones.
Wait, wasn't it Shia LaBeouf?
That was his son.
Didn't he throw him in the fridge and he survived it?
No, he hadn't met him yet.
Oh.
No, but his son
forgot.
did swing with the monkeys. And there was also, he saw a person be completely consumed by ants.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That happens in that movie, too.
Oh, and he also ate monkeys' brains. Gross.
I don't think he ate them.
Well, he ate something on that nasty-ass table.
I don't think we get to see what he ate. But the other two,
I
Short
would have
Round
had,
and...
no, I would have had Willie's reaction,
Yeah.
hands down. But yeah, so this one's called The Dial of Destiny, and all I can tell you is Short Round better make an appearance in this movie.
He's not going to. Unless they worked him in last minute, but I don't think so.
I mean, come on.
We
God
got
damn it.
We got John Rhys Davies.
Yes, you got Karen Allen is back.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
Yes,
but
Karen
I'm glad
Allen
to
is
hear
back,
that
yes.
because they got married.
Yes. So she's back, and
They're not going to mention his son, Mutt.
Christ,
They have a son named Mutt.
they have a son named Mutt. But yeah, I don't know if that person is going to make an appearance in this. But
No, I don't think so.
If
He's
we
kind of like a
don't-
nutcase.
if Short Round doesn't just pop in, like, come on.
And here's the thing, right? Because Temple of Doom is a prequel, which is crazy. It's a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy about that is that he never mentioned Short Round again.
I
And
know.
Short Round is like his son.
Right.
You think he would have been at the wedding?
Yeah. Where did he go after the Temple of Doom?
I don't know. I hope they're not saying he's dead in the canon.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know. Like, we have never been told. You know what's weird? Antonio Banderas seems to be in the preview.
Antonio Banderas is in this movie.
That's odd.
He is. I don't know who this. What's her name? Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Do we know? Yeah, what do we know her from?
Okay, so she's in. Oh, she was in Solo. Killing Eve. No Time to Die.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So stuff we don't really know.
Yeah.
This is the now James Mangold is directing. Spielberg is out. Lucas is out. We have a new director and a new scriptwriter team, I believe. I don't think anybody from the original movies is writing.
Yeah. It says Jez Butterworth. John
What's this person's name?
Jez.
Jez Butterworth?
Yep.
That
Jez,
sounds like
and
something like a turkey would buy on Thanksgiving. I love that name, though. God,
guess-
why can't my name be something great?
And that's yeah, that's awesome. Jez, and then also John Henry.
Scott smelling good. That's what I want to be. Scott smelling good.
I like
Would you
it.
be Mrs. You would be Joe smelling good.
I like it.
Joe and Scott smelling
This
good.
is smelling good. Yeah.
Hot
So
and fresh.
looks like brothers are writing this. There's brothers. David Cope. Yeah, and he also helped write this. James Mangold.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new team, and that would give me hope that they would do something really interesting. This is one of those films that I'm automatically cautiously optimistic because, to me, 1 and 3, I love them. Raiders of the Lost Ark, to me, is like the gold standard of action films. That, Die Hard, there's movies that you should look at as your template to make a great film, and those two are the ones. They have the best action, the best hero. And Harrison Ford is just so great in those movies. Now, I would say that Harrison Ford has become a new person. I've always joked that regarding Henry, he really got switched out by another Harrison Ford. But he has acted like a whole nother person ever since.
I mean, he's also not a spring chicken either.
Yeah,
So-
he's also had a
Keep
lot
that
of
in
plane
mind.
crashes and a lot of things happen to him bad on sets.
Yeah.
I think the Millennium Falcon shut on him once.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's had a lot of bad mishaps. I can see why he's so grouchy. But yeah, he's a little too crabby for his own good, and I think that takes away from that who like Indiana Jones is.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll see a different, he'll be different on screen. I mean, he's not going to be Harrison Ford on screen. He's going to be Indy. Hopefully.
You call him Dr. Jones, doll.
Okay, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, I mean, you feel the same way as me, right? The 3 movies, Temple of Doom has always been the one that's a little lesser, but I still think it's a damn good fun movie.
I mean, I really do have a good time with the third one. I
Third
do.
one's great.
I think it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I do like Temple of Doom. I know that a lot of people don't because, the whole Willie screaming through the whole thing and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there's some goofy stuff, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of great moments
But
that
it's
people
fun.
cannot unsee.
Yeah.
Short Round is amazing.
He is. It's fun. It's a fun movie. But the first one and the third one for sure
Yeah.
are the best. So I hope that we kind of get. I want to feel nostalgia. So my best case scenario would be that they do put nostalgia, the whole nostalgia factor into play, and Short Round does come back. That would be freaking great. I would be so happy. I'd be like squealing in the theater. Worst case scenario is it's the last movie we just watched, the fourth one, where it's just we don't care about anything that's happening on the screen because I didn't. So
It's still Indiana. It's still he got married. I mean, that character came back. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna be happy to like the nostalgia factor to see, Reese Davies and Marion. I keep saying Marion, but her name is Karen Allen, the
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah. To me, the nostalgia thing is my big issue, right? Because sometimes you get blinded when nostalgia can blind you, and you can rate a movie completely off by your nostalgia. And I'm getting
Yeah.
called after that because I like DC Comics, and I recently gave The Flash, and I've given Ant-Man. I gave a lot of these movies a good score because I really enjoyed myself.
Right.
All I really want is to have a fun, good time.
Yeah.
I just want a fun story. I'm not looking for Shakespeare.
No, I
Although I
know.
would love to appreciate that. If it's something
Yeah.
that's like deeper, I'll be shocked.
It's not going to be an Oscar-worthy movie, but we know going in that it's just going to be probably totally off the rails and fun, and it's going to be out there. I mean, we know that Harrison Ford's up there in age, and he can't be doing all these crazy stunts and stuff. So it's
Yeah, I wonder how much CG is going to be
it's
involved.
probably going to be a lot. So just strap in.
Yeah, and that could make or break it because that uncanny valley thing is a problem. When you know it's fake, your eye you just can't believe it. So I do like a lot of the de-aging tech that they've been doing in movies. So maybe it'll be interesting. Who knows?
I hope so.
What's the worst case scenario first?
Worst case scenario would be that it's like the same thing over and over, like totally jam-packed with action, and not enough story or not a good enough story. So like this one seems to revolve around his goddaughter, and I don't even ever recall that even being mentioned. So
Well, it's going to be to another character. I think Toby Jones is going to be a friend of his, and because he's got a lot of colleagues.
yeah,
It could have been somebody related to oh my god, the character that's in all like the first. He's 1 and 3. The older guy.
yeah. I'm gonna cover his name. Yeah, but I don't know. I
He
feel
got
like
lost in his own museum. That guy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. No, I feel like I hope that it's not, that the story doesn't get lost. I hope that, there's some kind of a good plot instead of just thrown in all this action so that, we don't know where to look on the screen and they totally try to trick us into thinking that this is a good movie, even though there's no plot just because there's a lot of action.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want some heart here because this is like the last one. I mean, Harrison Ford he's done with this.
Look, yeah, so my worst case scenario goes into what you were just saying because my worst case scenario is this is an excuse to pass the torch to like a female version of Indiana Jones, which I think is what they're going to do. And I think that might be a little too forced. And that's the kind of stuff. No, that's the villain.
Oh,
Joe was just showing me a picture thinking of that guy. But yeah, no, it doesn't matter who that person was.
okay.
Yeah, but passing the torch, I don't want things that feel forced. I want things to organically happen.
Yeah.
So to introduce suddenly in the last movie, I have a goddaughter who's also an adventurer, is a problem. Because it makes that whole idea more open and more evident that they are forcing certain kinds of things in movies. And I think that's the biggest problem going on in Hollywood right now, in pop culture in general. People feel like if you just switch something or just do something, that it'll make everybody happy. But that's not how you do it. You write things to make them feel genuine. You want things to organically grow. And you just can't thrust something on somebody and then say, hey, this is the thing now. Because it's not going to feel right. And that's what I'm a little afraid of with everything that they're doing. Like, I'm a little worried this movie's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's Tomb Raider. There's already a character like that I love. And she had a decent movie not too long ago, and no one saw it, which sucks. I wish that character, the video games are so good, I wish they would make more movies like that. I want that stuff, but I don't. We want Indiana Jones. We want Indiana Jones stories. And I understand that they want to die, but you can always go back in time and say, hey, these are other Indiana Jones stories. We can get a new actor.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I
We
think
did
we
it with
can.
River Phoenix. We did it in the television show that had another actor play him.
Yeah, I think we can, for sure. I mean, he should pass the torch. But yeah, like, so
Yeah, so that's my worst case scenario stuff.
what's your
And
best?
also, I would say this. I have to add this to worst case scenario. My worst case scenario is that action wise, it's too goofy for its own good. It's like what I like about Indiana Jones is it tells me it's a universe. It's a real life universe, but things are happening in it. Now, sure, he kills people and is able to survive certain things, but he gets wounded, he gets hurt. He's not a superhero. He does get his ass kicked. He feels like a genuine guy in a crazy situation, and he makes it out. It might be tall tale, but I don't want it to be like Crystal Skull was, where it just felt like a cartoon.
Right.
Like they have killer ants now. He's putting himself in a refrigerator. He's swinging with monkeys. It's so silly that it's kind of losing that idea of the adventure. Because what we like about Indiana Jones is he feels like a real guy in these situations. So if there's more goofiness, if he's like, say, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something crazy that could happen in this film because it's called Dial of Destiny, and what scares me about that is that he's going to change time, and we're going to mess with time.
Okay, so if they do that, and I was thinking that too, they could very well put in the plot that would make sense. Like you said.
It has
you
to
can
come
go-
organically.
Right. But also, you have to anticipate that this is the last one that Harrison Ford is going to do, that they are going to try and outdo everything. It's going to be a huge circus.
Well, I guess they say that Mangold, what he did with Logan, he found a way to make it feel more real. But what's crazy is that it's a double-edged sword because I think he also did Wolverine.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and Wolverine was too over the top and too corny, but Logan was a little more grounded.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect. So I'm hoping that he kind of learned from those movies and he's like, we're going to do more of that maybe. We'll see. I mean, that's my worst case scenario. And that all goes in what you're saying. So
Yeah, I think I'm putting it out there right now, and I'm probably going to walk out of this movie with a 5.
ooh,
I think I'm going to, because I think it's
Wow.
going to be so over the top and it's going to be annoying, and that's unless they bring back Shorty. They bring back Shorty, it'll change everything for me. They should bring him back because they have never told us anything about him after Temple of Doom.
like I'm saying, I think that he came back in the spotlight, that actor, recently. And I think they already were filming this movie. And so I don't think there's going to be a way to do it. But you never know. They could have filmed a last minute cameo.
You never
Who
know.
knows? I'm going to say don't get your hopes up. So best case scenario, absolutely just a fun little ride that I really enjoy. And it's a good send off for him. And I feel good about it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I don't want much. I don't ask for anything from these damn movies. I just love film. And so every time I have to explain to people, like, I just love watching movies. I don't even care what it is. I just want to see it because I really enjoy movies. So if I come out of this thing just being like, I'm happy, or I had a good time laughing or smiling, then I can't complain.
Right.
My best case scenario score, what I think, is 7. But my worst case scenario score, which I think I'll probably give, is probably a 6.
Oh, okay.
If it's lower than a 6, I'll be fucking mad.
Oh my God. Well,
I'll
I'm
be
hoping
very
for a
mad.
7, but I'm telling you, I think I'm going to walk out of there with a 5. Let's just hope for the best. I'm
can't
going to be
imagine
happy
a
to see
5.
Marion. I really like Karen Allen, and
It'll probably be a cameo. It's gonna be small.
I mean, even so, and it's going to be a cameo from everyone. I'm sure John Rhys Davies too,
Probably.
but I love seeing him.
He's much older now, yeah.
He is, but it's still, it could be fun. It could be a fun ride. You don't have to think too much. It might just be very just action packed, but I think that because this is his last one, that it's going to be all over. It's going to be like a carnival. It is. It's going to be crazy. So
That's a disappointment. You never want the send off to be a carnival. You want it to be
endearing.
yes. You want it to be
Yeah.
bittersweet.
Well, maybe if it's a carnival, it can be an endearing carnival. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's go see
All I
this
hear
movie.
is clowns. All right, let's go see it.
Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all.
You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
This way!
Fasten your seatbelts. There might be some turbulence.
You've taken your chances, made your mistakes. And now a final triumph.
Give him hell, Indiana Jones!
A few times in my life, I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times, including once by your father.
Sorry!
But I've been looking for this all my life.
We're back. We saw a movie. We saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And look, I think that the best way to talk about this movie is that I think we should just break down elements of the movie that the movie hinges on. Right? So we just came back, and of course, this is our afterthoughts where, I think the best time to review a movie is like a couple days later, but we do these instantly, so we're either too high or too low all the time. And I only bring that up because I think that's going to be one of those things that tonight we're going to be talking about, and I think it might come back. So I think this movie hinges on certain factors, and the problem is those factors are very large, and the movie either works or it doesn't on those things. And so I think that number one, I think we talked about this in the before. One of my biggest issues, the thing that I was worried about, and that would be Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the actress from Fleabag.
Yep.
She is now. What I had worried about was that her character would feel too forced or too thrown in a way where it was very, very prominent. And that was my big concern, that it wouldn't happen fluently and it would be forced as being this thing. And it was exactly that. And that was my big fear. This character, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, but this character was extremely annoying. I don't even know if annoying.
In the immortal words of Mrs. White in Clue, I hated her so much that the flames on the side of my face, the heaving breath.
Anyways, so
yeah, I hated her character.
This is the biggest issue because the movie is very dependent on this character, and this character is
dreadful.
First off, the biggest problem was not built up to be likable. Very bad issue here. If you're going to have a main character to follow, you want to be able to enjoy this person and root for them and really you want to be on their side. But the problem is this character is established as being a complete selfish asshole, and then suddenly she's supposed to be not.
And by that time, when she's supposed to be not,
it's
we don't
already
give
been two.
a shit.
It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah,
it's 2 hours 15 minutes too late, and we already hate her. So
yeah, and it's like I don't even hate her.
I do.
But the way that she's written is so fucking. It doesn't feel real at all. She is instantly Indiana Jones. She's but not even a likable Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones has a quality of being like, he's just got a charisma, and he has a goal, and you're watching it, and things happen to him, and he can also take a piss out of himself. You know what I mean? And this character is established to be a self-centered asshole, a money-grubbing, jerk, not caring about anybody. And then this is my favorite thing, then they also tried to make her. They wrote her as if she was the Indiana Jones of Temple of Doom by having her have a sidekick kid.
They even go as far as to say that she met him the same way that Indiana Jones met Short Round. He was stealing from her.
Yes.
He was pickpocketing her.
This is a series that refuses to accept that Short Round ever existed,
I'm so sick of it.
while also quoting a scene from that movie and then establishing a new character that's exactly a ripoff character. But it's there. But here's the thing about Short Round. He was fun.
He was adorable.
He's adorable. He's fun. You're excited to watch him fight.
Well-
And his bromance with Indy is great. Here, these two characters don't even seem like they like each other. The kid and the...
No, this
and
kid Teddy that they put in here, he's not
he's
dreadful.
fine. No, he's
He's fine. He
it's
does
just
what he
that
has to.
He doesn't seem to... They seem like they have conflicting goals.
They don't have the charisma and the feeling of camaraderie
No,
that
none.
Short Round and Indy had. But they set up the whole thing like, come on, do you think that people coming to these movies don't know anything about the other movies? I mean, you recycled the whole movie from the rest of the movies. This movie was one big recycle job. That's all it was. They even put in a scene where Willie and Shorty were covered in bugs, and like just like in Temple of Doom. And it's like everything that they did, from the chase scenes to even the villains, it was just all recycled. It was recycled trash.
This is a big problem. I think I was just watching Red Letter Media discuss this about what is it about 2. One of the people on that show was talking about why he likes 2 better than 3. Now, I think 3 is a fantastic film, but I like it for another reason. I like that it took 3 films to slowly understand who Indiana Jones is. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like that. But some people don't, because they like the idea that he is this super, like, he's just that badass. Not even a badass, but like the adventurer from your childhood, you know? And you just watch him go on adventures, and you really don't need the backstory or that setup. And they were talking about how, unfortunately, in 3, it's Nazis. And it is true. Indiana Jones has definitely become the Nazi fighter. Mm-hmm. And they do it again in 4, and they did it again in 5.
Again, everything in this movie is one big recycle. Just think, every little shot, every little plot point, it's all recycled. And they used these characters terribly. The ones that, were new to this franchise, such as Antonio Banderas.
Waste
Complete
of a character.
waste.
Very strange.
Complete waste. I mean, there's no reasoning for him to be in this movie at all.
This is called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, right? And it's almost not even, doesn't even feel like his movie 100%. It feels very off. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like
he's a side character in his own movie. That's what it felt like.
It's an odd thing. Finishing the story with this actress being in this movie, I would be fine with it. And it's not about like a lot of people automatically view judge something. They're like, oh, you're sexist, or you're whatever. No, the problem here is the character is written like she's God's gift, right? There's actually shots and continuous scenes of everybody looking at her like she's sexy.
Yeah.
It happens multiple times. It's like, we get it. Okay, you're pretty, whatever. But why keep doing it? Like, why is that a necessity shot? What is the goal here? And then also to have her constantly reference how she's a badass.
I know,
she goes out of her
actually
way
says it
to
herself.
reference it.
Yeah.
Yes. And also to do all of the, like, she doesn't come off like a character in the opening scene. Well, the first moments we get with her, she doesn't seem like a character who can do the fighting stuff, right? She just seems like a normal character, and then all of a sudden she's like, the second half, she becomes a superhero.
Yeah.
She's doing everything that Indiana Jones is doing. And, one of my favorite things, and I guess this goes into part 2 now, this movie hinges on these problems, right? Or on these things to succeed. Now, I would go to part 2. practical effects. All right, now the problem, and I think that versus the original three versus these new two ones, is that practical effects in the original made everything feel so genuine. Like you feel like someone's actually doing these things. They're so tall tale. Like, you know, like I say tall tale, I mean, they're like blown out of proportion. They're insane. But they were actually done practically a lot of the time. And one of my favorite scenes is in part 3. They're getting chased on motorcycles. And Indiana Jones takes a flagpole and shoves it into a motorcycle. And the motorcycle flips, right? And then they cut to him looking at his father like, holy crap, isn't that amazing that I just did that? And his father's not impressed. I love that because that's showing you like how, oh, I know this is crazy, but I still did it. Can you believe that it worked? You know, there's a lot of that taking, like I said, taking a piss out of yourself. There's a lot of that in the original 3. He gets messed up. He fails. He screws up. Here, and this is a problem, I think, with action in general in the last 20 years. It's become, and I'm not even blaming superhero movies, because I think the original lineup of superhero films, especially Marvel, they were getting hurt. I mean, like, I praise Iron Man 3, right? Because he's, like, hurt. He doesn't have his armor, and he's got to learn how to fight on his own again and build his own armor. Same thing with Iron Man 1. He has to make his own suit and survive, you know? That's cool. Now you get into the point where characters are, oh, I can just fly now. Or I'm not the kind of character who can swing around a pole, but now I can do it. And that's like every single action movie. And now watching this movie, I couldn't unsee it. Characters are just doing things. They're going out of the way to say he's old, Indiana Jones. And they're showing you that he's old. And he is an old man.
He's 80.
And sometimes he's doing things that are just like, come on, couldn't we find a fun way around this? Like, couldn't we do something more practical? It's so over the top. There's a chase on like these little transportation buggies that are going Fast and the Furious style driving.
Yeah,
They're going like 85 miles an hour. It's like,
yeah.
are you kidding?
They
Give
would
me
have
a
flipped
fucking
already.
break.
They're
Yeah.
like tiny little golf carts. Like, there's a lot of that in this, though. I mean, it was a little over the top. I mean, everything that okay, that's what I'm telling you.
Oh, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I know we're not going to spoil anything here.
No, but 100%, this movie was completely made of recycled parts. It just was.
You're saying that there's definitely a lot of stuff here that's new, but there are recycled beats that they are trying to hinge on your nostalgia. Absolutely. But I don't think it's 100%. Yes, I do admit that part with the bugs, not only did it not fit the scene, it felt like it was just jammed in at the last moment, it's also heavily CG'd. And it was very off-putting. Yep. And it came out of nowhere. And when it happened, I heard you go, oh, come on.
They went out of their fucking way to make this female character completely unlikable. I mean, at least in the second one, in Temple of Doom, you know, we couldn't stand how Willie just kept screaming through the whole movie.
A lot of people talk about that, yeah. It's a big problem.
At least she could be semi okay.
But that was her character. Her character was a fish out of water.
Well, she was a performer. She was a singer and a dancer. And
she's playing an everyman, so she's doing what we would do in those situations. So yeah, she's screaming. It might come off annoying because you're kind of just wanting the action and adventure, but she's the everyman, so it makes sense.
Right, but do we need the whole recycled plot of, you know, her being this loner adventurer and having a kid with her?
Oh, you're talking about this. Okay, yeah. We were talking about Willie, but you're...
Yeah, no,
okay,
I'm going to the points of what they're recycling. Like, it's like, I don't understand why we needed to have this kid. I don't get it. Like, he didn't...
It's not necessary.
He didn't enhance the movie in any way.
Like, there's a plot point on him, but... I mean, it's not necessary. It could have been changed. I'm not sure why they did it, or maybe they did it to humanize the character a little more, but it didn't really work because it felt too nostalgic.
It felt like, okay, we've already been there.
Yeah.
And then like they go out of their way, which pissed me off, to say why Shia LaBeouf isn't in this film. Okay, they do say it.
Yeah.
And we're going...
No spoilers, but yeah.
No, but they say why he's not in this movie.
It's a weird write-off. it's a lot of stuff like that is write-off stuff.
But what I'm trying to get to is the fact that, they don't ever mention why Shorty isn't in it.
Yeah, I mean, they just act like he doesn't exist. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Let's because we did the actress, we did the practical effects or stunts, and to go into that practical more was where we were. I just want to talk about CG.
Okay.
Because you okay?
Sorry. No. I'm okay. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I am thinking.
Okay.
The wheels are turning.
Well, I wanted to bring up CG because, like I said, these are the 3 plot points that the movie hinges on.
Okay.
You have to now. Basically, the reason I bring up CG is because you have to suspend your disbelief. But when you can clearly tell that Harrison Ford's face has been pasted on stunt doubles throughout a lot of the movie, it does get off-putting. It does feel very weird.
I was looking for it, and that was my mistake.
That first half, well, you can't unsee. There's a couple parts where I was like, "That's clearly not him. That's a guy, and they didn't get the CG on his face."
We know he's an elderly man. I mean,
No, yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's definitely not him doing those stunts. But I mean, I was actually looking for it because I, there was a lot of other CG things that I spotted, and I was like, okay, let me just focus
so
on this.
much.
And I just kept focusing on it, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to focus on this.
I think that we've hit a realm of movie making where stunt work and CG is become so heavy that it's also becoming like a nuisance. Like it almost makes me not enjoy things. And this last year, and I hate to be like this old man that's like, ooh, movies aren't like they used to be. But this last year of movies, especially action films, there is a trend of just acting like they're cartoons. And I want to go back to those days where it was like, no, an adventure movie means that you can do something crazy and fun and do these stunts and do these moments of like these huge action set pieces without having a corny CG overload going on around it and the characters acting like, yeah, nothing happened to me.
Yeah.
Like a character gets shot and it's like,
Yeah.
nothing.
No, he's fine.
And it's like
Okay.
weird. It's weird. That's a big problem. And I want to say this, the CG is extreme. Okay. Those are 3 things. And I would say these 3 things are very important to your enjoyment. And I wouldn't say I liked the 3 things. But if I had to talk about things that were fun, there were some things, there were some ideas, there were some set pieces that were kind of fun. There is there's a couple nostalgic moments that are like, okay, that was nice. There's things. I also like the, a lot of people complain about with like Uncharted, about how the biggest aspect of what Nathan Drake was in Uncharted series is like going in the caves and exploring. And they kind of say like, oh, the place they needed is like right there in the sewer. How did no one ever find it? This movie actually had an exploration plot that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This reminded me of National Treasure. Like that whole, oh, well, they got to go to step A. They go, they're actually exploring. They're actually figuring things out. There is a thing. And it was like, that's something I had never, it was a plot where I was like, that's a cool little idea. I kind of like enjoy this part of it.
Okay.
Nothing?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like throughout this movie and in so many adventure movies, it's always the same where like the hero is always leading the bad guys to the fucking treasure.
Well, yeah, we're going to the plot points that
but
are
it's
like, that's annoying.
Okay, enough already. It's like this. It's just over and over. I just feel like Indiana Jones is way too smart for any of that. But
I was talking more about the enjoyment of the puzzle.
no, I actually love that. Like, trying to solve the riddle, always solving the riddle to get to the next point. I love that. And this one did have something different. It did.
It did something new.
Yeah, it did something new. I did I can't say anything else, but it was fun. That aspect was fun.
It wasn't bad.
The hunt was really fun, but I don't think it was any better than the other movies. I actually thought 3 was more fun in that aspect. You know?
Yeah, I think because it's also a story that we could get our minds wrapped around a little better. This
Yeah.
one is definitely more out there,
It definitely was. Yeah.
but it did come together in an interesting way. And I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. I like where we're going with this. I can see where we're going. I kind of dug it. Like, I kind of dug that aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard when you talk about a thing and you're not spoiling it. And it's hard not to spoil things. But I would say that this is definitely one of those movies, like, after we shut this off and we stop talking about it on this, we're going to be like, how stupid is this and how stupid is that? And there is a lot of that in
Yes,
this movie.
there is.
Where in the theater, I actually was like sighing
I was
because
too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that you just established, and I hate this because a big problem with me with movies is like you have to establish a lore. I will talk about this until I'm blue in the face. Movies need to establish a lore, a world, and then follow their own lore and their own world. You can't set up a movie, and that's just why with like the last John Wick. What reason I got so mad about it, and I wouldn't say hate it, but the reason I got so mad about it was it just got to the point where they're like, oh, you established all this lore, and now it's like, yeah, I can move on from it now. No, you got to follow your own lore. You got to follow your own world. You know, you can't constantly shooting people up in the face and then like
Yeah.
you got to get hurt. Like people are getting hurt. It's so stupid.
It's just like the Fast and the Furious. There's no consequences for anything they do.
There is no lore. They don't follow their own storyline. Like, oh, I have a magical brother. Oh, this guy has a magical brother. You can't just say, you can't just keep doing that because then you take away the magic, like you were saying.
Right.
But in the same thing here, is that they constantly would say, hey, look at this lore, or look at this moment that's happening, and then it's not happening over here, but it's happening here. It's like you're not even following what's happening in the story. So the shot it just makes you go, it hurts your head a little bit, you know, like, and I think that is one of my biggest pet peeves in films. Like, you can't show us something and then act like it's not happening somewhere else. You know what I mean? And and this movie did that a lot. And I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of problems that are hanging at the end of this film. And I wish that the movie ended differently. I didn't mind the ending moment, but I wish it would have been a different ending. And so it's like, it's such a hard one to talk about because at the end of the day, it is 2.5 hours. And you could feel it. There's like multiple movies in here, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's like one big jumbo recycled film where they just they carry on way too long and they don't put half the interesting things that they could put in. A lot of it's taken up by, like I said, recycled scenes that you've seen before. You've just seen them before. You know, it's like, okay, all right, yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but it's like I would say mildly entertaining. I wasn't like, oh, that's neat or anything. It wasn't. I didn't have those moments in this movie at all. I didn't find anything endearing in this movie, and I didn't like. There's a lot of problems with this, and especially the character of Helena. I thought she was dreadful. I didn't like her at all, and there was misuse of actors. So that's my take on this.
Yeah, what I was saying with the multiple movies shoved in, I felt like the first half with the Toby Jones and him, there's like an entire opening of this movie that's a flashback type of situation, and it feels like its own movie.
Yes, because they didn't let us know what exactly their plan was. It was just they just went into the movie. Do you know? Like they didn't. It was just like one minute you see Indy, and then the next minute you see Toby Jones, and they're just they seem like they're in, like you said, in two separate movies. Like they don't establish.
Oh, you
what-
felt like that? Okay.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he felt like Toby Jones felt like he was in a completely different film. Like he was going to get attacked by a werewolf any moment.
I can see why you're saying that.
Like it was weird. It was a weird situation.
That's really funny. No, I meant basically that half of the movie felt like its own movie, and then it cut forward and was like, now we're in another movie. And now we're going to be a whole nother thing. And it was like, it felt strange. I would even complain. I love I can't get over Toby Jones being in a werewolf movie.
It seemed
because
like that. I was like,
totally get what you're saying.
I looked over at you like, what is this? What?
I didn't mind it. I actually really enjoyed that opening. Even though I knew the CG of his face was on this thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
say,
it was
honey,
that bad, but yeah.
that opening was fun.
No, the opening was great. It went right
There's
into
some stuff in
right
there.
into it. There was no there's
If I can point out a highlight in the
downtime.
opening is the Gatling gun gets stuck and shooting the train.
yeah.
Damn, did that look cool.
I mean, there's a lot. There were some cool shots in this. I'm not gonna say that it was one heaping pile of shit, but there was some cool things in there.
You made me laugh so hard to hit the mic.
Oh my gosh. No, like seriously, there were some fun things about it. Like I was like, okay, I'm entertained by this, but for the most part, you're right. It felt like there was a couple of different movies happening in this.
It kept doing it too. But every time it jumped to a new area, I was like,
It's like,
all right,
oh,
new
God
movie.
damn it.
New movie time. Like, oh, we're with boat people now? Okay. All right, we don't need this, but I guess we're with boat people
Yeah,
now.
it's now a boat movie. So okay, great. And
And I will say that I absolutely love Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, but man, was he he was just misused here.
I feel like he was hamming it up. It was like ham time.
I felt like he didn't even have anything to do except stare at things. It's like scenes of him staring. Like, it never felt like... It was odd. In fact, he has like a bodyguard guy. I know that actor, but I'm not sure who he is.
What, Gigantor?
No, the other one.
Oh
the
my
one, the
God.
main one with the mustache.
Yeah.
We know him from something.
I thought that he was the guy from 310 to Yuma. Come on, what's his name? Damn it.
310 to
Yeah,
Yuma.
the blonde guy.
Wasn't 310 to Yuma that you remember? It's you. That's Christian Bale and like Matt.
And who's the guy? Who's the guy with Christian Bale? Come on.
I'm
come on.
blanking out. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it reminded me of him. Let me look. God damn it.
Well, you look up that because I'm looking up where I know this actor from because it's gonna bother me.
Okay, he's always.
Oh,
like
he
a-
was in Logan with him.
Ben Foster. I thought it was Ben Foster. That's who I thought it was.
I
Because
wish
he
it
had
was Ben
the
Foster.
blonde hair and he had this 80s porno mustache. And
He did. He had a flat top
he
hair.
had a
and
flat
bottom.
top. He looked like he was in the wrong era. I mean, he looked like he was like in
Yes,
the 80s.
he did not fit. Well,
Yeah.
they're in the 70s, I believe, in this movie because
No, it's 69. They had not yet gone to the moon.
you're right.
Okay?
But then
So,
that one girl. Oh my god, I
Yeah,
thought she was
there's
a 70s character.
well, we're bordering on the 70s,
And
but
by the way, that actress,
she's pretty. I don't know who she was.
I don't know who she is either, but she was more interesting. And she wasn't in the
Than the
movie.
character
I was
of
so
Helena.
mad. Half
I
the
know.
characters, I was like, I want more of this character.
I know. I liked her. I
She
liked.
dressed like a badass too. God, she had the
did.
best jacket on.
Yeah, she had an awesome wardrobe, and I don't even like the 70s fashion. You know that,
I
but
have
she
to
looked
look
good.
that actress up too.
I'm
'cause
looking her up.
There's a lot of stuff like that, and I kept thinking about. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I want to see more of this actress.
Yeah, well, there wasn't. Okay, so there wasn't a whole lot of things to like or love about this movie, but it wasn't the worst piece of crap either. So I'm kind of like,
It's a weird one, right? She apparently she was in Black Panther, but I'm not sure who I know who she is in Black
no,
Panther.
she's beautiful. I don't know who she is either. Maybe one of his,
She doesn't even look like she's in
Dora
part 2. She
Milaje.
looks like she's only in 1.
yeah.
That's
maybe
weird.
One of,
Well, she was actually really
Bodyguard.
interesting. I thought they were going to use a lot more of her, but she's not in the movie, so that's odd.
Well, I'd like
she's
to
only
see
in like
more.
a little bit, yeah.
yeah, I'd like to see more of her in other things because she's kind of cool. But yeah, I found her more intriguing than the main girl.
A lot of the characters, but going back to the porno mustache, he gets more to do in this, and he feels out of place in this film. He does not feel like he fits in. And who is Gigantor? Is that one of the
Oh my
friggin' the
God.
Mountain or the Hound? I mean, it wasn't either one, right? But it was like,
Okay,
God,
well, his
damn, that guy's
name
huge.
is Olivier Richters. And this guy's got to be at least 8'2".
He is.
He is a brick wall. I don't think I've ever seen a guy that's this big. Not even pro wrestlers. I have no
Apparently,
idea.
he was in Black Widow, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he is huge.
Oh, he's 7'2".
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I mean, he
Wow.
was just a wall. I have never seen anything that, like,
He actually made me laugh a lot. There was a
was-
lot of stuff set up with him that made me laugh. I wish I would have done better things with him.
it's not a lot of trivia on him. But
Oh.
yeah, he is a big guy. He's crazy big.
All right, so here we did a lot of negative talk, and I don't know. I
I
said a
tossed
couple
in
things
some
that I liked.
positives. I did.
Did you?
I mean, did I though?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I like seeing Harrison Ford in this role. I'm kind of nostalgic for it.
Do you still like him in this role? Like, do you still
It's not
like
the
seeing
same.
Krabby version of him?
Well, no, it's not the same because time has gone by. He's aged.
Yeah.
It's not the same as seeing him in 1, 2, and 3. But I do enjoy watching him on screen, and I like that he actually came back for this at 80 years old. And same with John Davies. Same. He's 80 as well. And I do like Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, so it was good to see him. I thought that there were some fun scenes. Like, there was a lot of action in this movie, and I thought there was a lot of fun scenes. But I think that there's more, like, to it than
Yeah. I do too. So, yeah, I mean, just jumping into final score then. Because what do you give this out of 10?
Well, I'm coming out with what I said I would, which is a 5.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was a mediocre film, and there's nothing in here that astounded me or blew my mind. Even seeing Marion and it did nothing for me.
I
It didn't.
mean, I'm on a 6 right now, but I understand where you're coming from, and I could see myself giving it that. But I didn't absolutely hate it. I didn't have a bad
No.
time. I didn't find it I found it like it was decent.
It was a mediocre
That's why I'm giving it a
film.
6 because I was like, to me, it's a
Okay.
decent.
Well,
like
then
I was like,
that's-
there's some fun stuff here. There's definitely stuff here to enjoy.
I mean, I feel like giving it a 6 would be like making it like borderline, between decent and good. But I feel like a 6 is like good.
It's decent. Mediocre is 5.
And we don't do point systems, so I mean,
It wasn't mediocre. Will I forget it in a day? No. I'm gonna remember this.
you're not going to watch this movie again.
I will never watch this again. But then again, I've never seen 4 again. I've only seen it once.
Yeah,
and,
true.
I also came out of that going, it's not the worst movie. It was all right. Like I think this movie is exactly like that movie.
I'm going to say that
I like this. I might like this a little better than 4, but it's
wow,
very on
okay.
par with 4.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I can, in light of what you said, I can go and say that this is between mediocre and decent. But it still leans towards a 5.
We
so.
gotta give him one, so 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing a 6. I know I have a lot of problems with the film. I did think it was fun.
Okay.
I did think there was moments of fun. I did think there was some good payoff, like to the character a little bit, the little things to the character, a lot, kind of. Not the greatest, but I didn't think it was so. God,
Here's the thing.
I'm definitely on the fence here with this 5 and the 6.
I think that
I'm
you're not-
close to a 5, but I'm going 6.
Okay, but you also gave Guardians of the Galaxy 3 a 6, didn't you?
No, I gave it a 7. There's no
Did
doubt.
you? I thought you gave it a 6.
No way.
You'll have to check that out.
No way.
Because I think you gave it a 6, and I think
I
that...
said I didn't think it was as good as the other ones, but I mean, I know everybody else does.
I
But
don't know. I mean, which one would you rather watch more, this one or that one? I don't know. I feel
that's a
like...
hard ask, but definitely Guardians.
I mean, is
A
that
7.
a hard...
I gave it a 7.
Is that a hard ask? Is it... What's the last movie you gave a 6? Let's go there. Okay, because...
You put me on the spot. All right, well, let's look it up. We're doing this, huh?
I mean, you gave Asteroid City, what, a 5?
I gave it a 5.
Okay, well, that's rough.
I would never watch it again.
Well, you're not going to watch this ever
I
again
actually
either.
I had fun watching this. I didn't have much fun watching Asteroid City.
Okay, fair enough.
I gave No Hard Feelings a 6.
Okay, well, No Hard Feelings was better than this. I'm sorry, it was.
Yeah, but totally different movies. And also, I feel like that movie had as many problems as this movie did.
I mean, I guess. Well, whatever. fuck comparisons.
I give The Blackening a 5 as well.
That movie could have been funnier. It
Yeah.
just didn't do it.
It's just that to me was mediocre.
Yeah,
but-
that was a mediocre movie.
And I also gave Transformers a 6.
Okay, well, Transformers was more
I think
fun
this-
than this.
I think-
Transformers was way more fun than this.
No, I'm gonna give this the same as Transformers. They both had the same exact kind of problems and had the scenes that were fun.
Well, I can tell you that on screen visually, I would rather look at 6 hours of Optimus Prime than that freaking broad
6 hours of
with
Optimus
her
Prime.
goddamn
That was-
asshole commentary in this movie. I did not like Phoebe whatever. I didn't like her in this movie at all. I thought
Okay.
she was crap. So
I love that I'm like trying to be very like gracious and like calm,
hey.
and you're like, fuck that bitch.
hey, I said some nice things. I said some decent things, but I'm going to tell you, she brought down the movie for me 100%.
Yeah, that's why I labeled the 3 things that are problems. And I would say that those problems are huge. But overall, it's not the worst damn thing I've ever seen.
No, it's not.
That's why I'm like, I'm not going to 5.
But I didn't say that I did. Actually, I did say this wasn't the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. But she did bring the movie down a huge, a lot. Lot.
I love it.
So
I love it.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got, too. This
Yeah,
movie's mediocre.
I could talk forever about some of these problems, and that's why I probably should go a 5. But you know what? I'm just real quick. I'm going to even point out they didn't even hammer the music usage.
Okay, they kept playing the Indiana Jones theme when it wasn't necessary.
Okay, so the Indiana Jones theme is supposed to kick in an epic moment of fighting back.
Yeah.
And he gets like a gun at one moment, and he just like terribly shoots. And they're playing the music like it's a big epic moment, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not a good moment
He's
for this.
sitting in a car, riding in a car, and they're playing the music. I'm like,
That I
what
get.
is going? No,
If he's driving fast and he's
not
chasing
driving.
somebody?
No. They played it when he was just sitting there.
What?
I'm not
No,
gonna. I can't
there's no way
spoil
that
it.
happens.
But they play it a lot when it's not needed. And yes, it
I
is.
did
And I
know-
will let you know the scene and when we get
We're
off
gonna
this.
fight after we
You know, we're gonna
fuck out
fight.
of
I'm
this.
gonna see you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know what? Oh, behind the bleachers? Oh, that's for
No,
something
that's where
else.
people make out.
Well,
I don't want to make out with you.
I thought it was going to be like an angry makeout.
On that note,
All
you can
right.
follow us on social media. Let us know what you think about this movie.
Can't wait to hear everybody's
You can tell
thoughts.
us how wrong you think we are or how right you think we are.
Yeah,
We're
people
just
love to tell me
whatever.
how wrong I am.
I mean, tell me how wrong I am. I want to hear it. Bring it on.
Shout out to the Third Eye Review for telling me The Flash sucks ass. I think that's what he said to me. Sucks ass.
A lot of people don't like that movie.
Apparently not. Oh, okay.
But,
I'm
yeah.
I'm always on the bottom of this fight. So
Yeah, so follow us on social media. We're at I'm at the Crafty Misfit, and Scott is at Just Another Movie Night. He runs our podcast movie page and
writing reviews every day.
writes reviews and all that fun stuff. And thank you very much for listening to me rant and complain. That's what
I think
like
I
to
was
do.
ranting and you were complaining.
Yeah, you were ranting and I was complaining. That's what we do. See you in the parking lot.
Bye.
Look, I have been I've been blessed with this body. Thanks for noticing.